Test. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
We're in business. We're in business. Okay, this is episode 29 of the Castle Keeper's Guide. Tonight we have a special guest. He is our Monday guest. He's the movie man, Jack Cole.
Movie man. I'm the movie noob.
Yeah, but it's Monday, so it rhymes. So come on.
Movie maniac. No.
Movie maniac. Hey, there's Wargaming Regard. Hi, my friends. We literally just started. Before we get into this, I do want to give a special shout out to all of my Twitch subscribers and Patreon backers. Much love to you. It is through your support that I am empowered, and every single dime goes straight back into the channel. Software, hardware, kitty treats, and candy beans. So, with that said, we're going to jump into this. This is going to be the Castle Keeper's Guide tonight. We're going to be just chilling right here. Alright, so I'm actually, I'm going to be doing the finishing touches, I think, to our marching camp over here. So while I do that, Jack, what is on the agenda for tonight?
For tonight's stream, or after the stream, or what do you mean?
Why not all of the above? How about, what about tonight? What are you watching after the stream?
I am watching a 1967 classic film that I have never seen before, and it's been on my list. It's kind of one of those, if you're a movie lover, you should add it to your list kind of a thing, and I've never seen it. It's a French film called Le Samurai.
Le Samurai?
Le Samurai, yeah.
And is it literally samurais?
No. It is I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it takes place in the 40s, and it follows a character who's a hitman. And he, if I understand correctly, he has kind of like the creed and beliefs of like the samurai. So I'm wondering, I haven't seen it yet. Again, I'm going to watch it for the first time this evening, but I'm wondering if it's basically like a 60s version of that Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai.
I was actually going to say it sounds very much like Ghost Dog.
I'm wondering if that was the inspiration for Ghost Dog. So we'll see. After I watch the film, I will be assessing it.
Hey, Minor Wild Games, thank you so much for the subscription. That's extremely appreciated.
Looks like Wargaming is giving out gifts.
Wargames, you are incorrigible, my friend. You are just incorrigible. We are here to entertain you tonight, my friend. I know that you've had a very, very stressful time as of late. Let's just see if Jack and I can distract you just a little bit. So yeah, that definitely sounded very Ghost Dog, like it has to be related. I look forward to reading your write-up on that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward. Last week I didn't do, because of everything that was going on in the world. I was not in the mood to write up anything about the Social Network. And I know I'm not a critic, I'm not a reviewer, but I like putting out my thoughts on what I thought of the films that I watch for the what we watched Wednesday. That's always typically whatever I watch on the Monday night, and then I think about it over the course of the next day, and then the Wednesday morning I will write about it. And I mean, I'm not trying to be all high and fancy and falutin, but I at least like to tell my thoughts about it. And so I did Social Network last week, and I was not in the mood to even talk about it. I was just like, this is what it's about. It's good. Go see it. Bleh. But so I'm missing the fact that I didn't do that last week. So I'm really hoping that the film is good. If it's not, it's, I'll say that it's not. I'll say that I didn't like it. But I'm looking forward to it. So yeah. Hello, Princess.
Princess, so, Jack, actually, just repeat for Princess what you're watching tonight, because Princess is a movie goer herself.
I am watching the 1967 French film Le Samurai. So, and I do believe it is part of the Criterion Collection. I will be renting it on Amazon Prime, though.
So, just so everyone knows, basically, after the stream, Jack loves movies. Jack really does love movies. And he's vowed he used to watch a lot more when he was younger and before he came to Portland, and he's vowed to get back into that again, and one of his ways of doing it is on Mondays. On Mondays he is going to be watching a movie after after the stream and he watches it on his own, does his thing, then typically writes up about it on Facebook a little bit later that week.
Yep.
Hey, Brian's here. Hello, Brian.
Oh, and I didn't say hello to Phantom Jen when she posted hello, Phantom Jen.
Oh, is Phantom Jen out there? Hello,
yeah.
Phantom Jen.
She says it's Alyssa and Jack and me. Hello.
Hello. Shadows. We're going to be doing shadows on this one too. We're going to be doing shadows on all of this. There'll be lots of shadows.
Yes, I agree, Phantom Jen. Love is not strong enough of a word to describe how I feel about movies. That is true. It is. I am. Yes. Alrighty then.
So what do we got?
See.
What do we got?
I have a question to pose to you and to everyone in the chat. This is just a, in case anybody doesn't know, typically we ask fun little silly, geeky, nerdy kind of related questions that, start conversations with everybody in the audience and with one another. You got a bean boozled.
We're going to hold on to that bean. We're going to do it. We're going to, every 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we'll do a little bit of a catch up. I'll make sure we eat a bean for you, my friend. But yeah, Jack.
So today, or the starting question for today is going to be, what is some of your favorite games you've ever played that are on a console, whether it be handheld or not? So it could be a Sega, a Nintendo, a PlayStation, an Xbox, a Game Boy. Not a phone game, because I know that's a different category.
No, does it have to be exclusively on some kind of console device?
No. I mean, if it came out for like PC first and then they ported it to console, let's not do those because that's just a computer game. That's just a PC game at that point. But a game that either was first on a console and then came over, or was just only ever on a console.
You know me, I'm a big sort of PC gamer, but there have been certain titles that have played a lot better on the on console, and I've only actually played them on a console, so I'm gonna pick on them, and I've got a few, honestly. Red Dead Redemption 1, loved playing that, and it made me cry. Grand Theft Auto 4? Was it 4?
Is it the one where you were the single guy, or the one where you were the
three
trio?
guys? Was that 5?
That's 5, yeah.
I really enjoyed playing that. I mean, all of mine are modern ones that you could probably predict yourself. Assassin's Creed, the entire series, 2, parts 1, 2, and 3. Really enjoyed playing those, and honestly, The Witcher.
Okay. Would you consider the GTA to be in your tops at all, or not GTA? Just GT. Sorry, Gran Turismo. Gran
Turismo. Actually, you know what? So Gran Turismo, I'm actually a big driving fan. I love car driving games, and yeah, that one's got to be up there because that one is just PlayStation. Get yourself a great force feedback wheel. It feels like you're literally driving on the road. I used to participate in online competitions. I was never at a Division 2, but I was trying. So yeah, I think that's fair. Actually, that has to be up there for me. It's Gran Turismo.
Nice. Brian McWhorter in the chat says Metroid and Super Metroid. Marlin's Girl
Duck Hunt
93 said Duck Hunt. Yeah. And then Wargaming Recon says Pong, Super Mario 2. Star Wars Battleground 2, Contra, Super Smash Bros, Wii Resort, Super Mario Kart, Vice City, and Assassin's Creed 2. Also
never played Metroid,
up.
By the way, myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never played it.
I only ever played Metroid and Super Metroid. I heard that the ones that came out on the GameCube, I think that I couldn't even tell you what those were called, but they were like first-person perspective. Supposedly those were a lot of fun and built on the lore of everything, but I only ever played the originals back in the day. Super Metroid when I was at my friend's house who had a Super Nintendo, but I only on my Nintendo only ever had Metroid, and only for a little while. I don't know what happened to it, because like now I thought I had all my old games, but like looking through my collection, it's like I'm missing a lot of stuff. It's kind of weird how that happens. I was always a big fan of the Legend of Zelda series.
That's a good choice. Never played it, but good choice.
The first one was kind of frustrating and hard. It was that top down. The second one, the Link to the Past, was a lot of fun. The one that came out on Super Nintendo was a lot of fun. It was really, I think, though, that when it went 3D with the Nintendo 64, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, that I really, really started to enjoy it, because they were. I don't know. If it felt like they were starting to like shore up the storytelling of it and make it a little bit more cohesive. I never actually played like the later titles, and I've heard the Wind Waker is a great one, the one that's out for the Switch. Hey, Cave, how you doing?
Hey, Cave's here. Hi, Cave.
Watching you do that. She's got that bright light right on her face.
Yeah, it is actually really bright. Yeah. I'll do something about that. That is super bright, actually. That's more bright than usual, I feel. It is a ring light, yes. And I can't actually turn it off. I'll experiment with this though. There is a warmer light I can pick, but this is particularly bright tonight. I don't know if it's trying to compensate for a dark room or what.
Yeah, if it can either be warmer or maybe we can put like a filter over it too.
I think the echo, by the way, is you are hearing me talk and you're picking it up on Jack's mic 2 rooms away. So I'm gonna keep my voice down.
Really?
We had that last time. I'm not going to worry about it too much.
Okay.
So what else have we got?
Let's see. Okay. Pulling this back up here. All right, so that one's a D&D related question. We had some of those before. Okay, let's kind of do it. Not necessarily a negative, but kind of like the antithesis of a question that we asked before, where it was kind of like, what's your favorite class? What's your favorite archetype you like to play in games? What is the type of character that you typically don't enjoy playing in role-playing games? Like a class or a position or a role, or even a general archetype, depending on the type of game or race. It sounds like Magnificent Peck says humans. So you're either responding to the arguing with people comments, or you're saying that just in games you don't like to play humans.
Magnificent Peck says humans. I think for me... Okay, this is going to be a little weird. I actually don't like playing sorcerer types.
Now, does that include like wizards and warlocks?
No, warlocks yes, wizards no. So answer me why that is, because I don't know.
So I'm wondering, because wizards have to learn and study their magic. They have to like do hard work, get it, while sorcerers and have it innately, I suppose, and warlocks can make typically a pact of some kind, or their family made a pact and they kind of then have innate powers. So I don't know, maybe you don't like people that are born with mojo.
Yeah, those are typically characters I don't go for. The ones that have innate powers, like thinking about it. Because I've played rogues, I've played fighters, although they tend to be a little too generic. Paladins, no problem. Magic users, no problem. But yeah, like the thought of playing like So honestly, if someone handed me a sorcerer and said, "Here's your pre-gen, play that," I think inside I'd groan a little bit. I'd go, you know.
Interesting. Yeah, in Wargaming, she's saying that wizards. She's down with wizards. That's like the one out of those arcane spellcasting group that she's down with. It's the sorcerers and warlocks. She's not.
What about you, Jack?
Interesting. Now let's see. In the past, I would have said paladins. But that was because my only association with paladins for the longest time was lawful stupid, and played by characters who were self-righteous, and they themselves were lawful stupid. And so I had a really bad taste in my mouth for paladins. But ever since I've grown as a role player, I now see that you can play paladins not as lawful stupid. As a matter of fact, you can play some paladins that actually are dark. They, this is going to sound kind of weird, in a weird ass way, like the operative from Serenity, the Firefly film. He could have been a paladin in a weird way. He fought for what he believed in. He was fighting for a quote unquote better world and was willing to do anything for it. He was almost like the Oath of Vengeance style, paladin, because he was like he was dedicated to his cause and was willing to fight and die for it. And at the end, that's, when he, spoilers, he gets his faith broken in it. He would then, I would then qualify him as a fallen paladin. He's going to start taking levels in monk, as he's now going to wander the universe, not having a path or direction. It's like his faith failed him. So I would say, now that I'm kind of over that hump of paladin, I would say the one that probably interests me the least out of all like classes are probably clerics, specifically healer types. For some reason, I've never had an interest, maybe part of my whole thing is the whole, goody two shoes paladin, stigma. But even like clerics, like I know you actually played a storm cleric that one time when we were at, it was actually our first Gamehole Con, when we played D&D 5e for the first time, and your storm cleric was actually pretty badass, doing like thunder waves and lightning and hitting dudes with your big hammer. But even that, I was kind of like, that's cool. But if someone was like, do you want to play one? I'd go, no, I don't think so. I'm all right. I'm okay. So, yeah, I think that would be me. No, I read Order of the Stick, and no, I do not. I still don't like lawful stupid paladins. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see. Brian says level 1 wizards are so boring. Ooh, it's dark in here. Casts magical light bulbs. Well, I'm done for the day.
That's true. I think 5e fixed some of that.
Yeah.
It made them way more sustainable for the longer run. Yeah.
Especially since now wizards can cast things like, I'm going to light up the room for free, and they can do it an unlimited amount of times per day. Just dancing lights all over the place. No, I throw wine across the table, Phantom Jen, when I don't like the GM, not when I don't like the character. Don't tell Skeeter I said that. He'll kill me.
She's going to tell Skeeter.
Oh, there's an interesting idea. Pex says playing a shell-shocked cleric or a Constantine-type cleric could be fun. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. There was another thing. Oh, Cave was saying something. Let's see. I always wanted to play a fighter, but every time I changed my mind because they seem so bland. D&D never managed to make fighters interesting. 3.5 got the closest with feats.
What I like about 5th edition is myself, 5th edition now. I like how every class has huge versatility. and life, like lifespan. It's not just you shoot your one spell and you're done. You use your one ability and you're done. Everyone has a trick that they can fall back on all of the time, and I liked that. I think it gave everyone some huge versatility, and you could build someone like Constantine in 5e.
Yeah. And that might be. I'm actually going to make a note of that. You know, how would I make a Hellblazer cleric like Constantine?
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna eat a bean.
Oh, right. Well,
which sounds nasty, but I'm gonna eat a bean.
Let's see. Green Lantern GL saying Cavalier's the best AD&D class, but they're overpowered, even though they're awesome.
Cavaliers.
Now, okay. Now, are they Cavaliers? I always thought it was pronounced Chevalier. Is it Cavalier? I don't know.
Chevalier? That might be like the French, but I think Cavalier is at least the westernized version.
Oh, okay.
Or the anglicized version of it.
And
that's Cavalier.
And that's why I started it off as Cavalier. And I've always heard that people refer to it as a Cavalier attitude, you know, when describing someone's, you know, demeanor. But I always thought
Cavalier attitude. Here goes a bean. For wargaming. I got my eye on you.
Cave said,
no. Oh, no. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's horrible. Well, what am I eating?
Now, the funny thing, folks, is she's getting, it should be arriving tomorrow. She's getting a giant glass jar that we're going to be able to pour all the beans in. So it'll be harder for her to identify what the gross ones are, but they'll all be mixed in. So even the hot ones will be in there. So it'll be great.
This was dirty dishwater or a stink bug. Oh, that's horrible. Wargaming Recon. That's all I got to say. That's foul. Let's get back to the regular show. Oh my god, that's horrible.
So I'm seeing a lot of people saying a lot of things they enjoy playing, but the question at hand is what is a class or character that you don't enjoy playing? The one that you prefer, like if someone said, "Hey, do you want to play this?" You go, "I kind of don't. I was hoping I could play something else." Like what's
like you sit down at a convention and someone, you know, hands you a pre-gen and your heart just goes, what's the type of character?
Ooh, GL right off the bat says wizard. Just nope, I'm out. Brian McWhirter, Star Wars, saying when he plays Star Wars games, Jedis, they're not his bag. And you know what? If you're trying to play a traditional Jedi from the original trilogy, no, not the original trilogy, from the prequel trilogy, I can understand because they are stuffy and boring and rigid and kind of lost the path, in my opinion. Speaking of which, I'm really looking forward to the High Republic stuff that's going to be coming out here that takes place a couple of 100 years before the prequels, in which the Jedi were a lot more open and a lot more flamboyant than the monk-like Jedis of the prequel trilogy. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see how versatile they are. It looks like they have a lot more flair. Just saying. Ooh, Wargaming Recon saying not a fan of playing bards. Peck's coming back in with humans and fighters as well. And human fighters is right up there. Jack, do Alyssa and you have any Cavaliers to eat as snacks? I don't understand.
Is that a chocolate or is it a candy or something? Or because in Discord today, Wargaming Recon was talking about caviar, and Green Luton came in with a cavalier joke with a very cavalier attitude. So it may be a little bit of an in-joke that they've got going on there.
Okay.
But we don't have caviar in the house, no. Look, we're doing okay in life, but not to the point where we have caviar in the house. And even if we were doing okay to the point of having caviar in the house, I wouldn't have caviar in the house. I would have more whiskey.
I'm sitting here going like, if I have caviar in the house, I've done something wrong. I went to the store and I grabbed the wrong thing. I was not having a good day. Because I once tried a little bit of it once and it was gnarly. I mean, that's like, you know, not my bag. Just saying. Oof.
I think it came up, no spoilers, but because of the last Mandalorian.
Oh, that's no. That's okay. Well, yeah, that's I'm gonna go with a boba tea.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Boba tea.
Yes.
Champagne. I would do champagne. Hey, you can't make mimosas without champagne.
Oh lordy.
We've always got champagne in the house.
No spoilers, but when he eats the thing, oh god, in the cave, when the lady's taking a bath and he goes up the hill. And,
that thing. That was kind of cool. He will eat anything. He is just a gross individual. He
is a monster. He is the like I posted on Facebook for those of you who are friends with me on Facebook. He is the true villain of the show. He is such an evil bastard. Yeah, go for it. Send me a message. I might not respond right now because we're on the stream, but I will totally answer whatever you got. Yeah, my wife nearly threw up when the Baby Yoda was eating that thing. Yeah, it was so gross because it was like slime and shit. It was oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'm trying to keep it PG-13.
Oh, that was I don't know why you are, because I don't claim to YouTube or anywhere else that this is PG-13.
But you should though, because you don't want to get demonetized. See?
Yeah, like I'm going to get monetized for my 12 views on Facebook. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
It's for future-proofing.
Yes, Pex is making notes right now.
Yeah, he's like, God dang it, stop with the swearing. All right, let's see what we've got here. All right, so okay, you already answered. You answered that they use sorcerers and warlocks because you don't like people to have innate magic abilities.
Well,
screw you guys and your special power.
I feel like I've just been quoted by the press here. No, I actually don't know the reason why. And your theory, bears some study of my own psyche. But I don't disagree with your theory for sure.
Because it does seem that's funny that those two classes have that thing in common, so to speak. Okay, so question then. This I guess will go for everybody as well. And I know some people like Pex, you were bringing it up as well. Is there a D&D race you're not a fan of? And for you guys out in the chat as well, Pex, you've already said like humans and stuff, but like buy with humans, Pex, if I may ask. But like do you like not like monster races or a specific monster race, or like you don't like elves or
actually I particularly like anything that's a little bit more oddball and off kilter, like some monster races I tend to like, but I tend to like the monster races that are a little bit more practical. And what I mean by that is no giants. Thanks very much. I think if you're going to be bringing in something that's like 18 feet tall, or even 12 feet tall, or even, honestly, 10 feet tall, you're kind of asking the GM to start doing some gymnastics with the game. So I'm not a fan of that typically. So I don't go big monster races. I don't go anything that's way out there. Like I love Mind Flayers. I'm not going to play a Mind Flayer. I love vampires, but I'm not going to play a vampire. I just think that they start to, get into the extreme.
Right.
That beam, by the way, is still there. It's horrible. It's almost easy for me to answer about the races I like. Like I tend towards humans a lot, but then I will go with goblins and things like that. Or even minotaurs. I'll go for the humanoid style races before anything else. Races I actually don't like to play, and this may seem a little bit weird, honestly, elves. I don't tend to play elves. And they're one of the stock races to play. And I have played elves. I've played a few, but they appeal to me less.
Interesting. Interesting. In the chat, Wargaming Recon brings up that he doesn't tend to go for elves because he doesn't like they're a little too tree huggery for me, and I want to counter that with apparently you've just played in a campaign where they just have those traditional stereotypical tree hugger elves. In our fantasy world that we kind of have a persistent game going on through whether it be Alyssa running or I running, we have like samurai elves that are more in tune with magic and not nature. I actually created a dragon riding communist Russia elves that will tear the forest down and turn it into industry for fueling the war machine elves. So, elves can be whatever you want them to be. Just saying. Let's see. Peck's coming in with the hating of humans. Mechanically, you literally give them a flat-out boon of plus X or plus X and plus Y, and no other race gets that. Okay. Yeah, it's because they're boring, so they have to get something cool. And they are you're literally playing a fantasy game, so why in the nine hells would you play a human when there's fantasy race options? That's actually, I think that is the answer that needs to be put on a plaque and put on the top of the castle. That makes a hell of a lot of sense, sir. I get it. Cave is not a fan of. Cave is saying he goes blech anytime he sees rabbit folk, rat folk, turtle folk, bear folk, bird folk, elephant folk. Well, you're not a fan of our fantasy world. He
literally just read out like half the races in our world.
I was gonna say,
and a lot of them coming from you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's. I don't think I created turtle folk, but I've got all those other folk. And not quite elephants, but elephant adjacent. So yeah,
we're kind of fans of the anthropomorphic creatures.
Yep. Let's see here. Brian McWhorter. Sentient plant alien, but not like Groot, more like the Zon from Farscape. Okay. Oh no, he was saying that he played a tree before. Okay, got it. And that's what he was describing. Gotcha.
Alright, see you, Cape Geek.
Brian McWhorter, what he doesn't like inherently evil races such as the Drow and that type of thing.
You see, I like them. But I think the question becomes one of are we talking about the alignment or the race? Because I'm down with playing a drow that isn't disruptive to the game by being completely evil,
Right. And I've never been a fan of unless the creature is alien in some nature, like a mind flayer, like you were mentioning earlier. If the creature is so drastically different that our minds can't comprehend it and they are like, we are evil for evil's sake, okay, you're in a fantasy game, that's cool. But like things like orcs or drow or goblins, I'm not a fan of like they're all evil. That just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm always a fan of races being more open and versatile in their culture, instead like orcs aren't always like we are rampaging murderous bastards. Really? All orcs are like that? All of them in the entire world? They're all crazy rampaging raiders and murderers. So that's just me. Hey, I get it. Yay. Yeah, speciesist. Yeah, exactly. All orcs are evil. Really? Are they, though? Are they? Okay, let's see. Moving on. This is a weird question. I don't know if I'm going to do it. It's asking about musicians. I don't know, is music considered a nerdy or geeky topic? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be. Ooh, GL is asking a question directly to you, Alyssa. Have you ever read Usagi Yojimbo?
All right, so I could probably stop you at the "Have you read?" Because I'm actually not huge on the reading front, and I answer that by saying, the type of books that I read tend to be historical studies, and I read some historical fiction. Like a lot actually of historical fiction recently, but I don't tend to deviate from that as a subject matter. It's very rare that I deviate from that as a subject matter. I could, books about Caesar, Cicero, Sulla. I've read lots and lots of these. General history of the Roman Empire, history of the English Empire, history of the English Civil War. Those I read. So before I get into answering anything about have you read, I'm going to almost certainly answer every time no. That's just me.
And Usagi is I guess would now be considered a graphic novel, but you don't really read graphic novels.
Was Usagi the one that did the Hitler one?
No, Usagi Yojimbo's he's the samurai rabbit.
Oh, then no.
Yeah.
And that's, by the way, that is in no way a commentary on the quality of any book or graphic novel, like at all. It's my reading habits.
Yeah. Yes, Pex, we have actually watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Utopia, and actually, oddly enough, we are, at the moment, not fans. I think we've just watched 2 episodes. We're going to watch another couple to see if maybe it turns us around, but as of right now, we're both kind of like, I don't, because we actually had a really good friend of ours who, she and us, the 3 of us, we typically have a lot of similar overlap as far as like what we enjoy and like, nerd culture and pop culture and that type of thing. And so she was like, you guys got to watch Utopia. It's a remake of the British show, but it's on Amazon. It's really good. The first season, they've only done 1 so far. And we were like, okay. And we started watching it. We watched the first episode and we were like, let's watch the next one and see. And we watched the second one and we were like, we don't think we like this. And then we decided, you know what, we should watch at least a 3rd episode and a 4th episode, because it's usually around 3 or 4 when a series starts picking up speed and you finally start to see what's going on, because the first 2 are really just kind of set up. And so we're like, all right, so we'll give it another couple episodes, but at the moment it's not firing for us, sadly.
Yeah, and oddly perhaps too, it's just not currently. It's just not fit gelling.
Yeah, and it's weird because it seems like it has a lot of things that should like be cool for us, but it just is not hitting. I don't know why.
So actually, Wargaming Recon has redeemed a fact about Jack, or a Jack fact.
Jack fact.
A Jack fact. So, but you're on the stream. Maybe you directly could answer or give a little Jack fact. Now, everyone has already found out that you almost drowned in a boogie board accident when you were much younger.
Yes, indeed.
What other random Jack facts can you possibly tell us about?
Let's see. Rando Jack fact. So, in school, I was not a sports person. Gosh, surprise, surprise. Back in the day. But one thing that I was good at was sprinting. Sprinting. Not long distance. Like, I wasn't someone that would do things. I was never on track and field. I never did anything like that. But I was so fast that I would outrun anybody. And when we had to do forced football, because every sport was like forced. It's like, we are now doing football. We are now doing baseball. We are now doing basketball. I went to a school where it was like, for like the entire year, it was like, now this quarter we are doing this one sport, and this quarter we are doing one sport. It was freaking terrible. During the football quarter, all of the guys that would probably go on to be, semi-pro actual football players, all found out that my short ass was real fast and real agile. Back in the day, my dexterity is probably a 13 or 14 now, but when I was a freshman in high school, it was like an 18 or 19. And so on the in the physical education classes, when my freshman year, it would be one of those things where they would get me the ball and I would just go, and no one would be able to lay hands on me. I would fly across the field and score a touchdown. Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
As I got older, I got not as nimble and I was not as fast. But freshman year of high school, it was one of those things where I could literally outrun everybody in my class in my year. And they couldn't even catch me. So if someone did manage to come up on me, I was too agile for them to put hands on me. So, yeah. That was me. Long time ago.
That reminds me a little bit of me, Bean Boozled. All right, Magnificent Pecs, I got you. But that reminds me a little bit of me, but not as impressive, because my story with sports at school is I was the fucking best at everything once. Once. Like, the first time that they handed me a discus and told me to throw it, I threw it further than anyone else in class. Boys or girls, it didn't matter. I threw it better than everyone. I could never repeat it. The first time that they asked me to do a high jump, like, the teacher literally shit herself in the gym. She was like, that was the best Fosbury flop I've ever seen. I could never repeat it again. And I did that over and over and over. There was a relay race where I was the fastest mother effer on the planet for one leg and one race only. It was the third leg, and it was so fast that the whole school shit themselves. It was so fast. Once. So I was a one-hit wonder at school, like on sports.
The definition of one-hit wonder. I wonder if you had performance anxiety adrenaline pumping through your veins, where you were like, oh my god, this is the first time I'm doing this, I've got to be really awesome to show everybody that I know what I'm doing. And then you'd be like, amazing, and then maybe like your body was like, all right, I got this now, and you lost you lost that surge.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was definitely something like funny. That. It was like awesome. Total adrenaline or whatever. I always remember throwing the fucking frisbee the first time ever I handled a frisbee, and I threw it like a freaking pro. And like the teachers are like, oh shit, she's representing our school for this. Not after they saw my second throw, they didn't think that.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Oh no. That's well, at least you were good at everything once. I was just good at running one year in football. After that, the only thing I was good at was making it look like people fouled me in football or basketball.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah, that was fun fact number 2. Jack was able to fake being fouled in basketball. He would let people stomp all over him, and he was a good actor. I was in part of drama club back in the day. I was a good enough actor that I would make it look like they totally smashed me. And then I'd have to have one of my better, more qualified teammates take the 3-point shots for me, or the free throws, not the 3 points, the free throws. See, I don't know sports. And because I'd be like, oh, I gotta go on the side. Oh my God, I'm dead. But that was terrible acting right now, but you know what I'm saying.
But back in the day, everyone would believe you.
Back in the day, I was real fast and I was real good at faking being hurt. That was it. Yep. Bonus fact. And actually, you got an Alyssa fact too. Look at that. I'm just going to verbalize it for everybody. For everybody that doesn't know, Alyssa has a redemption of wine to get a top up of her beverage. So instead, I'm going to ask her, exclamation wine.
The wine thing works, by the way. You have to do a redeem.
Redeem. Is it still an exclamation, or is it just redeem wine?
I think it's exclamation redeem space wine, if I understand how Pex has been set up.
Wargaming has done it.
There he is. That's the only way we could get the new cloud bot to behave.
Yes.
So, Jack, if you are going to be indeed redeeming that, I am going to eat a bean for Pex.
Well, and this will be the cleansing drink to take it out. So,
and like Jack said earlier, by the way, we did order a candy jar, proper candy jar. So we're going to just tip all of this candy into that jar. Spicy bean, Pex, you're an arsehole. I am literally paying you, Pex. I would expect like a little bit more, like, you know, be gentle with me. Alright, so here we go. Alex Vixen, very good to see you in the chat, my darling. Here you go. I have no idea what this is, by the way, but here we do it. Alright. That's fairly hard. But that's not show-stopping. I'm not hiccuping. That's fairly mild. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm not dying. I'm not crying. It's actually quite tasty.
probably a sriracha.
Probably yeah, I think that's a sriracha. I think that's the most mild I've had so far. It's got a little bit of pep to it, but not a strong one. Princess Draco, I'll keep that in the queue, okay? I just ate a bean, so let's let a few minutes go by, and then I will totally do that bean.
Okay. And I have returned. Hello. We are coordinating our returns. Yeah, that Reaper will come one day, Pex, and she will be crying.
That's not good, by the way, guys. You know, that is not a good thing.
So, continuing off the question on gaming classes that you don't like to play and races that you do or don't like to play, is there assuming you're playing a tabletop game that has an alignment system, thank you, Striga. Is there an alignment that you prefer to play in games that have that type of thing? Or is there one that you particularly don't like to play? Or you don't want people at the table playing? Like, an easy choice, obviously, is chaotic evil. You don't want somebody being, you know, a total jerk face at the table, you know, murdering and killing people willy-nilly because chaos evil. But is there an alignment you'd like to play, and one that you yourself personally just like, no, I don't want to play a character like that. Like, I know some people that are like, I don't want to play Lawful Good. That just doesn't interest me.
I'll honestly play most of the neutrals and good alignments. I tend to steer away from the evil ones. I ran an evil campaign once. It was successful. It went for 18 months. And it was the entire party were evil. That's how I managed to sort of get this. They were playing the bad guys, and we were taking down the good guys. And once was enough. I don't want to do it again. I have played evil characters in good parties, and I think if you are a mature player and are considerate of the GM, the story, and the other players, you can get away with it as long as you are curbing that base instinct to just be a dick. I think a lot of people play evil in good or neutral environments just by being arseholes, you know? It's a little bit like I'm lawful good, so I'm going to be a twat to everyone, you know?
Right.
I think if you could elevate yourself beyond that and also understand that everyone is at the table for the same enjoyment of the game, then it is possible to play these extreme alignments, but I don't like doing them nowadays. I don't, because it starts to put a lot of stress on the GM, you know?
Right, and you have to think about the GM, you have to think about the story that you're playing, and you have to think about the enjoyment of the other players, because when you play a game, it's not just about you. There are a lot of people out there that are selfish, that make it about them. Maybe it's because in their lives they don't get enough attention, and so when they come to the gaming table, they need to make it about them. So they try to derail the story with whatever activities they're doing. And especially if there's always those stereotypical, they hide behind the alignment, but it's what my character would do. It's like, well, then your character should not be here.
And it's like, so Brian, it's like, you say it's sort of no chaotics, but it is possible to play a chaotic character, like chaotic good, as long as good comes out of it. I don't really care. You just don't be an asshole with it. A lot of people, I think, get so fixated about alignment to the extreme, where they have to almost apply this black and white attitude to it. I have to be good, but fuck the world, and I'm going to demonstrate the chaos factor of that by burning down everything that I come across. Good will come from this. No, it doesn't have to be that way, The alignment system in and of itself, in my humble opinion, it's a gross oversimplification to how people are in the world and what their motivations are. So if you take this simple system and simplify it even more, then honestly, as a player, you're being a right stupid twat. That's my opinion. It's like you've got to take this simple system and elevate it. You've got to actually add nuance to it. That's where I come from.
Right. Wargaming, kind of putting a cap on that, saying you wish there was a Z-axis to the alignment system.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. For me, it's the alignment system gives you, let's say, your segment that you're in, but your motivations and everything and how you act and why you act that way should be extremely complex within it.
Strega saying that she would like to play a system that did more like a taint system, where alignment is non-existence and your actions debate whether or not a character gains a taint. That's actually similar to, I've never played it, but Alyssa was telling me about it because I was trying to develop a system for that for our world when I was doing the feudal Japan elf kingdom, kind of like an honor system, like the samurai style of honor, in feudal Japan. She was saying that Bushido, the role-playing game, has an honor system because they didn't have alignment in Bushido. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I want to do like an honor system, because you can have a character, like people think like if you're honorable, like you're like, lawful good. Well, no, because honor is completely different based on like the clan that you come from, based on the actions you do, because you might do something that's like inherently evil, like I'm going to murder this village of people, but it's something that my lord commanded me to do, and I am an honorable samurai. I'm going to do what my lord commanded me to do, so I'm gonna sadly chop these people down. So yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like there's not really an alignment. You are honorable, but you're also evil. So there's still kind of a good evil, gray area in between, but honor is more important. So like, the emperor wouldn't be able to come and be like, you have dishonored your clan. Be like, no, I didn't. I did exactly what my lord told me to do. And I did it, with efficiency, So it's kind of, I kind of like that. Yeah, and I've always seen, with chaos characters, if you, like just exactly what you were saying, Alyssa, as long as you're not if you're a mature enough player, you can play chaotic anything, as long as you're not disrupting the table, disrupting the story, making the GM want to kill you, Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean, he is full on chaotic neutral. But if someone came in playing like, I want to play a character that's like Captain Jack Sparrow, you wouldn't be like, oh God, this character's going to ruin my game. You'd be like, oh, you're going to be a quirky weirdo. All right, let's do this. I can dig it. yeah, and Brian, yeah, most games don't have the alignment system. Obviously, D&D is, back to being the most popular role-playing game at the moment, in society. So that's why I was bringing up that. Yeah, don't be the Joker, says Wargaming Fun. Yes. Good. You guys got a lot of good back. There's Wade. You guys are all on it. I love reading this. You guys have got way too much going on for me to read it all. But yeah, you guys, this conversation is awesome. You guys rock. You guys rock. Yeah, Alex Vixen bringing up Legend of the Five Rings. Honor and face were the two stats that determined how people treated you. You could appear to be honorable. Then you're treated. If you appeared to be honorable, you'd be treated as a trustworthy samurai, even if you're not. Because you have a good. At that point, you might not have honor, but you have a good enough face that you can pretend like you have honor. And I also had it when I was trying to develop the honor system for our era, our fantasy game. It was one of those things where I wanted to do multiple levels of honor, because I saw it as honor within your own clan and your own people, and then honor that you had kind of more on a grander scale, kind of like how people perceived you. Because we had a character who was he basically was an assassin, but he worked for the head. He was a member. He wasn't a member of the family, but he worked directly for the head of his clan, of his feudal Japanese elven clan. So his family was, under the rule of these people, and they were assassins basically. And so what they did for his people was great, because they were doing all the wet work. They were doing all the he was basically coming from a family of James Bonds in this place. And so what they did technically was dishonorable, but his clan held him in really, really high regard. And so if other people out there, if the other people of the land found out what he did, they would have been like, wow, you are a dishonorable dog, get out of here. But if he was in his homeland and he was like, hey, I'm from the blah, blah, blah family, they'd be like, oh, you guys do all the dirty stuff for our daimyo, and you actually further our status in the country. The emperor holds us in high regard because of the stuff that you do. I mean, nobody aside from us really knows the real dirty stuff you do. And so, I wanted to have there be different levels of honor and different categories of honor, because to the neighboring clan, they're like, no, those guys are super dicks, we hate them. But his own clan would be like, no, those guys are awesome. So okay. All right, so this is going to be moving on. New question for everybody. I don't know if this would be considered a geeky, nerdy question, but it's, I'm sure people would say there are sports nerds out there. Who is your favorite physical combat athlete?
Well, that's easy for me.
So this is either MMA, this is either some martial arts, this is boxing, this is wrestling, any of those.
All right. So fun fact about me is I'm not really a fan of sports. They just don't do anything for me. They're very tribal. But I have had a lifelong fascination with combat sports. Big surprise, right? Specifically, when I was a lot younger, I had this huge fascination on pugilism, boxing, the history of, though, going back to bare knuckle fighters and the early eras. So my first answer is actually heralds back to that, and it's a guy called Sam Langford. And Sam Langford was a heavyweight at the time. He had something and it's been years since I've studied this, 260 bouts in his life. And that's not an exaggeration. He's once fought 11 bouts in one day. and he won most of them. Like, the guy just fought all of the freaking time. Rumor has it that Jack Johnson like dodged Sam Langford. If you read the history of Sam Langford, he's just this incredible human being, and I think I would I have a deep admiration for Jack Johnson, like huge admiration for Jack Johnson. And if you do any research on him as a black heavyweight champion of the time, there's a lot to admire. But I really love Sam Langford because of, like, you know, just this constant fighting machine, and he just knock every motherfucker out, the left, right, and center. So I really love Sam Langford. But nice. more modern would be Georges St. Pierre, GSP, from the modern UFC fighting. Georges St. Pierre is a handsome individual, sculpted body, an incredible technician. So he's an incredible technician, and he is a true martial artist, and I really admire that. So GSP is my boy. I love GSP.
Nice. A little bit. So Sam Langford, I looked him up while you were talking. He fought in 313 professional fights.
I even did him shy, yeah.
And he fought in every weight category from featherweight to heavyweight. He won the amateur featherweight championship of Boston when he was 15 years old. And funnily enough, he was only 5'6", wickle fella.
He was a little guy, and apparently had one mean bloody punching capability.
Yeah, he only won, according to this, he only won 211 of his 313.
Only 211. Oh.
But 52 were draws, so he only lost 43 times.
Well, and this was an era too when they fought from like until you collapsed.
Right. So there must have been a couple of fights where both fighters couldn't continue, and they just went down.
Right. So there's my 2 votes.
By today's standards, Strega 5'6" is little. I think back in the day, probably not. If you look at humans over the years, you know, people's statures have gotten larger.
Princess Strega, for a young lady such as yourself, you are of perfect height, young lady. But for a heavyweight fighter, 5'6" is small. Come on.
Yeah. And Langford fought in the heavyweight division. Most like UFC heavyweight division fighters, like if you're not at least 6 feet, you're tiny. Does Ninja Warrior count? Since you don't use Ninja Warrior to fight another human being, I'm gonna go with a no. If the obstacle course had a bunch of dudes jumping out, punching the person doing Ninja Warrior, then yeah. So American Gladiator contestants could work.
What about you, Jack? Because you're not a sports guy.
I'm much like you, and much like, you know, Strega, and not in the sports, but fighting. And you know, it's funny. I've never been into wrestling, and I've never been into boxing, but mixed martial arts I have been, and that's been more of like a, you know, within the last, you know, decade. You know, I've kind of gotten into that, probably because of the popularity of UFC, and so all of mine are kind of in that boat. A big one for me, you speaking of GSP, a big one for me was Dan Hardy. Mm-hmm. You know, because I loved his, you know, his British punk rock FU attitude. I loved his, you know, kind of his mindset on everything with fighting. In a similar vein, I liked some of the guys that, yeah, and you even told me about an interview that he did once, and it really made me adore him. But like the Forrest Griffins, the guys that were like scrappy dogs, that they loved the fight. They admitted that they weren't the best, but they were in it for the fight. Like, so, you know, guys like Forrest Griffin were a good one. I was a big fan of Shane Carwin for a while. He was a guy that had like the biggest hands in MMA. He had to get special gloves because his hands were so big, and he had a really powerful punch. But he was a guy that his career ended too early just because he had a lot of back problems. He ended up having to do a lot of surgery, so now he doesn't professionally fight at all anymore. But yeah, I think Dan Hardy is probably one of my favorites. He'd be one of my favorites.
Sumo counts. Sumo absolutely counts.
Sumo totally counts in this category. Yeah. Another one from the UFC was the Japanese fighter, who was an actor and model in Japan.
Yeah. What was his name?
He wasn't. Yeah. He didn't translate over to the UFC very well, because the UFC, I mean, everybody always argued like if it doesn't matter if you're great in another promotion, UFC is like the top game, and so there's a lot of fighters that like they'd come to the UFC and they were never able to make it. But he was a middleweight fighter from Japan, and he did great in the promotion. It's something with an A. Gosh, I can't remember his name for the life of me.
Two truths and one lie. Okay, Wargaming, I got you.
Let's see.
Actually, while Jack is doing that, Wargaming, do you want me to answer that, or do you want Jack to answer that? Because this is the one time a week where we have Jack with us.
The who had a what now?
Yoshihiro Akiyama. It is Akiyama. It is.
Yoshihiro Akiyama. I think that is
Alex has got it. Alex has got it.
Akiyama. He's the very pretty fella that was also an actor and model in Japan. Yes, Yoshihiro Akiyama is it. Yes, indeed. That was him. And I say he was an actor and model. I don't actually know if he was.
He was definitely a singer and such, and he was a pretty boy over there. And I think he was an actor in Japan. He was. And so he's an actor, he's a singer, and he chooses to punch people in the face for a living.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, he was a guy that, I was really down with him, for a while as well. I have no idea if he's still fighting.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's not in the UFC if he is.
Okay, so what is this? 2 truths and a lie? What now?
Right. So, Jack, you're going to think about 2 truths and a lie. Princess Strega, you're going to tell me if you want me to tell you it's a hot bean or a 50-50. So tell me that. Jack.
Now, is this I just say 3 things and people have to guess and then I reveal
it?
Okay.
About you. 2 of them have to be truths. 1 of them has to be a lie.
Okay.
So you could have absolutely talked about your being able to sprint real fast, and then said, and I was also the school all-time wrestling champion, you know, and then thrown in something else.
Gotcha. And then are we basically saying that? And are we basically going to have it where people can guess which one is true and which one, and then I reveal? Okay.
So you think about that, because
I'll have to think about it.
I'm going to think about it. Princess, this is for you, my darling. And I hope it's not nasty. Because the nasty ones are really nasty. And at this point, I honestly feel I've had 10 nasties and like 1 or 2 good. And one of those good was meant to be a nasty, but it was toothpaste. So I'm not even sure they're 50-50. But here we go. That's a good one, my darling. That's a berry. That's a berry. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm okay with that. And Wargaming, I know exactly where the blame lies. Thank you, Princess. It's good. That's a berry one. That's a nice one. I like it. Because honestly, dishwater and dog food and bath, they are nasty. This is a good one. So while Jack is thinking about what he's going to do, I will drink to you, Princess Strigger. I will drink to you a toast. Because you gave me a berry bean. Jack's still thinking. So while he's still thinking, I think he's actually doing research, guys. He's doing research. Wargaming Recon. I want to personally thank you for being a huge supporter of the channel. Your generosity, your enthusiasm, your energy, not only in the channel itself but in Discord, is infectious. And I honestly wish we had another 100 people just like you, because we would have an army if that was the case. So here's to you, my friend. Thank you so much. And I know you paid for compliments, but the compliments are always genuine. And I seriously want to thank you for just being a huge part of this family that we have going on. Now, when I say family, I mean Legion, but Legion conjures that we're going to conquer someone, and I don't know who that someone is yet. Maybe in Ireland. Maybe we'll all move there together. A gaming commune. You're part of it. So thank you for being just a fantastic human being and a wonderful part of this family that we have going on. Thank you. Can we conquer a bunch of barbarians? Yes, we can. But that honestly leaves open most of the world. Jack, do you have your 2 truths, 1 lie?
I'm probably overthinking this, but I'm trying to think of like what, because I want to save. You know, I like being Monday guest, and I like the fact that there's actually a Jack fact, redeemable thing, and so I don't want to like blow a bunch of fun Jack facts like in a story or a two truths and a lie, that type of thing. Those types of things. So I'm trying to do ones that are kind of tailored to maybe some of the conversations we've had, or maybe something that you've revealed about me in the past, that type of thing. And so I need one more truth or lie that I'm working on here.
All right, so you think about that, because we don't want you to get too stressed out. Alex Vixen has 2 truths and 1 lie. I've only had 3 jobs. I've been taught how to drive a tank. I'm a second dan in Shotokan Karate. Just killing time while Jack thinks. Well, hold on, there was only 2 there.
There's 3.
We're just killing time while Jack thinks?
Yeah, and she listed 3 jobs, taught how to drive a tank, and is a second dan in Shotokan Karate.
That's 2 jobs.
That's... Okay, if you consider being a second... Okay, you learning martial arts is a job?
Oh, I've only had 3 jobs. Okay. I know, I think Alex Vixen is a tank driver and Shotokan. I'm pretty sure.
So you think that the fact that she's only had 3 jobs is the lie?
Yes. Princess Strigger, I'm not sure. We'll bring it up with Pex. I think it might be the channel that it's in, but it will just be a permissions thing. We can change that. I'm not sure if Pex is still around, but we can certainly take a look at it. Because yes, I would love to see all of your memes. Memes power the world right now. Pex, you are still around. Yeah, so fix their problem, Pex. Make it happen.
I've got my 3.
Alright, go for it, Jack.
All
2
right,
truths,
so
1 lie.
2 truths and 1 lie. So out of all of these, you'll have to figure out which one is which.
Alright, everyone.
All right. At one point in my life, I had 6 parents. Going back to what I was talking about with my schooling football career, while I said I was the fastest and the most agile, I had an instance where I was hit and I ended up breaking my leg because of a football instance. And then the last one is I believe in ghosts and spirits because I've had an encounter with one.
All right, everyone. Got a minute to think about that. Which one of those are a lie? Which one of those are a truth?
So, Princess says truth, truth, lie. So you think the first two, so you think the parents and broken leg are true, but the spirits is a lie. Wargaming thinks that the parents and spirits are a lie, but the leg break is false. What else we got? Yes, parents, not parrots. Brian.
By the way, did Alex Vixen actually answer which ones of hers were true or false? Alex Vixen actually has an answer for you too, and so does Wargaming.
Okay. So yeah, she and Wargaming are on the truth, false, truth. So they both think that I had 6 parents and I believe in ghosts, but they don't think that I broke my leg in a sporting thing. Oh, and she Alex says she'll answer hers after everything. Okay, cool. Brian is saying that he believes that I broke my leg and I had 6 parents, but I do not believe in ghosts because I did not have an encounter with one. And Green Lantern is saying that I did not have 6 parents, but I broke my leg and I believe in spirits because I encountered one. And Phantom Jen is saying that the parents is a lie as well. Cool. How long are we going to run this?
I think you can answer it now. I think that's good.
All right. I will answer this now. I'll tell the 2 truths first. I, at one point in my life, Loontoon. It's Loontoon. Oh, sorry, not Lantern. Yes, Green Loontoon. I had, at one point in my life, 6 parents, people that I considered parents. Because for me, I consider parents people that helped raise me, people that I looked up to and respected, as far as the growth of of growing up in life. And my mother and father divorced when I was very young, and each of them remarried, and when I was still very, very young. And then when my mother got divorced again from the man that she was married to, but I considered him to be a very important person in my life, and I still considered him to be one of my father figures. And then he got remarried, and she got remarried. So kind of a trick question, yeah. So see, and I was trying to be sneaky. That was the thing. I was trying to be sneaky. So yes, at one point in my life, I did consider myself to have 6 parents. Currently, I only have 4 because of things in life. Things happened in life. The other truth is that I believe in ghosts and spirits because I had an encounter with one in a very strange and weird way that cannot be proven or disproven. That'll be a story for another day, I think. I think that might be a Jack fact. But
okay,
I had an interesting scenario where I truly believe in ghosts and spirits because of this encounter. And the falsehood was only a partial falseness. My brief time as a football player in school was the broken my leg. I didn't break my leg, I broke my wrist. So what happened was while I could never be caught and I was super agile, I was real bad when it came to defense. And one day there wasn't enough defensive players to field enough students. So I had to be on defense. Now, at the time, I was probably like 5'4", 5'3". I was a little tiny dude. And the guys that I were playing up against were like they hit puberty real early. And so these guys were like 6.5 feet tall. So what happened was the guy who had the ball was charging across the field, going for a touchdown. I was super fast. And so I caught up to him and I threw myself in the way. I literally bounced off him, landed on the ground. Then the 2 guys that were behind me actually got him. and they dragged him to the ground. Well, sadly, I was where they dragged him down. So I had 3 full, heavy humans land on me, and my wrist was at the bottom of it all. And my wrist, I had a spiral fracture as my arm twisted under me, and I broke my arm. So not a leg break, but an arm break. So yeah, that was the lie.
Princess Stricker said, "Did you get XP from it?"
Sadly, it was one of those things where all of their CR rating was like just a skull, so they were too high level that I didn't actually get any XP from it. You know, yeah, the rest of my party members were too high level, so I was there for the loot and didn't get any XP from it. And then sadly, I was the only one who fell in that instance, and so I had to respawn back in the nurse's office.
We might have to save Jack facts to Monday nights, because these are fun.
Oh, Princess Strega is talking about the ghost encounter.
The ghost encounter, okay.
The ghost encounter was not an XP. I did have about a 2d10 sand loss, but I did not get any XP from the encounter.
Make notes, everyone. Make notes every time when Jack is back, because even I don't know this story. We need to do a Jack fact until he spills the beans about his ghost encounter.
Ooh, now Alex is bringing up her 2 truths and a lie. So everybody, Alex Vixen's 2 truths and a lie. She's claiming that she's had 3 jobs only. She has been taught how to drive a tank, and she's a 2nd Dan in Shotokan Karate. So, everybody, with Alex's choices there, which one do you think is the lie, and which 2 do you think are the truths?
I think the 3 jobs is a lie.
That's the one that I think is a lie, too. For some reason, Alex strikes me as someone who is can kick people's ass in karate and knows how to drive a tank, so she will...
And not just any old karate, Shotokan karate.
Yep. I think everybody is thinking you've had more or less than 3 jobs. Either 1 to 2 or 4 or more.
And Green Loonton has had a Ouija board scare.
Oh, no way.
Those things are real, man.
Oh, unless she's not a 2nd Dan, she's a 1st
she might
Dan.
be 1st Dan.
You know what? That's a good point. Doing the kind of like me, doing a little tricksy, where it's I am a Dan in Shotokan Karate, but I'm a 1st Dan. I'm gonna laugh if her jobs are like, I am a karate sensei. I'm a 2nd Dan. I am a tank driver, and my 3rd job is no. I'm just kidding. Words of Lieutenant Dan. What? Lieutenant Dan? But you ain't got no legs.
What?
You're Forrest Gump.
I know. I remember the scene.
But Brian McWhirter is saying she's not a 1st Dan or a 2nd Dan. She's a Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, he's...
Of course Brian McWhirter would do
that. You are welcome, sir. I always love that scene though when Gary Sinise is like, just came to like try out my sea legs, and Forrest doesn't get it. Tom Hanks is so he's like, but Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs. And he's like, yeah, I know, Forrest, I know. It's so good. God, that movie's so good. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
I'm going to guess that Alex is going to keep us on our suspenders here.
Well, let's see. We got Miss J, Wargaming, Green Loontoon, me, and you. So I guess Princess hasn't chimed in on Alex's, but I think like most of the active people here have responded. Is Pex still around? Pex is thinking the 3 jobs is a lie as well. Wow. Everybody is unanimous across the board that it's.
But now the whole Shotokan like actual grade has been brought up.
That's true.
I'm feeling that's the trick, you know.
Yeah, right. Oh, it is a truth. The 3 jobs is a truth. She was a funeral parlor night receptionist. She had a short retail job, and then she was a bouncer.
Holy shit, okay.
The ability to drive a tank is a truth because my grandfather was a driving instructor in the army and taught me how to drive everything. Ah. And she said the lie is not that she's not a second dan in Shotokan. She practices Salat, not karate.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so you are a master martial artist, just not in karate, Shotokan karate. Nice. Well, and I guess you being a martial artist of a high status makes sense with the bouncer-ness of it. You know,
yeah, the
you're
minute
like,
she said bouncer, I was like, okay, so there's something going on in here.
Yeah. Yes. You know, I'm gonna save that for Jack Fact for another day.
Someone hit up a Jack Fact.
The Jack Facts better cost like 5,000 gold or something. What's going on here? If it's one of those ones that costs 0 gold, I'm going to be real sad.
No. There's
5,000 gold.
Cost. There's a reasonable cost here.
10,000 sesterces. You must give up your position as a senator. To ask me. Write them down. I don't need to write them down. Like a vault, right here. Elephant brine, right here.
Elephant blind?
I was doing a funny voice.
Elephant blind.
Ooh. Princess Strega's doing a truth and a lie. I have met Fred Williamson. Oh, he passed not that long ago, didn't he? Am I thinking of the right person?
All right, so Princess Strega, she's met Fred Williamson.
Oh, no, not sorry, I was thinking of somebody else. Fred Williamson.
One year,
yes.
she had 12 jobs. 12 jobs in 1 year.
Ooh.
And she has been on a cruise.
Fred Williamson is, I want to say, what is he best known for? He was in a lot of, like, blaxploitation films back in the day. He was in... Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of something that people would know him from, because he did so many like kind of like obscure films from like the 70s and 80s. Wasn't he like an athlete too? Let me look him up real quick. Hold on. I have a sneaking suspicion you met Fred Williamson. Because I got to imagine that like he was like doing a thing somewhere and you were like, hey, I'm like maybe like at a con or something and maybe you were there and you saw him. I'm gonna say that you've met Fred Williamson.
What about the others?
I'm gonna let's see. Have you been on a cruise? Oh yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn. That's a good one that everybody knows him as. He was picking up vampires and then throwing them on table legs to kill them. To get the piercing through the chests. Yeah, the hammer. There you go. So my Google Foo, I wasn't following through on my Google Foo. He was also an American football defensive back. Yeah, nice. Oh, there you go. He was in like Black Caesar and in The Hammer, obviously. And I actually haven't seen Hell Up in Harlem. But he's quote-unquote known for... Oh, no, Hell Up in Harlem was the sequel to Black Caesar. Shit, how did I not know that? I mean, darn, how did I not know that? I need to see Hell Up Harlem. Okay. Hell Up in Harlem, adding that to my list. Okay, so... cruise and 12 jobs in 1 year. 12 seems kind of a crazy number. So the question is has Princess ever been on a cruise? I'm
sure she's waiting on you.
12 jobs. That seems very specific. Unless you're trying to be tricksy and be like, haha, I had 13 jobs, or 11 jobs, or 10 jobs or something. Oh no, wargaming. No, that's a terrible idea. No. Oh no, I'm not part of her bean game.
Whenever Jack swears, has to eat a bean, done. No, because...
Dagnabbit!
That's a swear word.
That is not. I'm going to start using Chinese swear words like I do in Firefly.
Well, that counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It didn't get said.
Wargaming Recon decides if it counts or not.
Please side with me.
He wants you to eat the beans. He's not going to side with you.
Everyone is agreeing to it. No. Oh no.
Even if you said, well, by darnation, everyone go swear word.
That is a darn tootin' lie.
Swear word.
No.
That might have to be a thing on Mondays, actually.
Princess.
When someone says eat a bean, maybe who eats the bean?
I'm going to say you've been on a cruise, and I'm going to say the job thing is like a partial fib. I'm going to definitely say you've had a crap ton of jobs in like a single year. I'm like maybe 11 or 10 or 13. But I'm going to go with that you have been on a cruise and that you have met Fred Williamson. And that the number of jobs in a particular year is a lie, but it's close. I'm going to guess that it's real close. That's my guess, personally. Everybody else is saying, let's see, Alex and Miss J say that the meeting Fred Williams is a lie, but the other two are true. Loontoon says that the jobs is he's with me, that the jobs is a false one. Oh, so you have not been on a cruise. Oh, sadness. Okay, so you have had 12 jobs in 1 year, and you have met Fred Williamson, but you have not been on a cruise. I don't know. For some reason, I felt like you were a lady of luxury. I just imagined you've been on a cruise.
No, this is a girl. This is a girl that
pampered.
Wants to be on a cruise.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
You deserve to be on a cruise. You deserve to be pampered. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. She wants to be on a cruise. One day she will be on a cruise. She just hasn't done it yet.
Can I be on a cruise too?
You don't like water. Fuck off.
Okay, when you're on a cruise, you're not on a water, you're on a boat.
And you hate people.
You're on a giant boat that you don't have to see the water.
Miss J Maps, fuck you. Hot or 50-50?
What?
Alright, so Green Loontoon, the joke is, well, actually, you've got to tell me the joke, and I choose if I'm going to read it out or not. Hot. Alright, Miss J's going hot. We're going hot for Miss J, the Australian young lady.
Hey, shrubbery.
A convention, gaming convention? Yeah. Oh, that's a hot one. I was trying to play it casual.
Gaming convention cruise. There you go, princess. There you go. Do you need a glass of milk?
No. No hiccups. Close. Oh, there's one. There's one. Alright. What do we think I just ate? Oh, there it is.
You gotta put a cap on how many of those you have. You're gonna if you have like 3 Reapers in a row, you're gonna have a stroke on camera and die.
Yeah, I think we should put a cooldown on these.
Yeah, there should be like a 30-minute cooldown, so you can only do 3 per stream. Every 30 minutes you can do one.
I think I just had a habanero. It's now in my nasal passage. So, I hope you are entertained. Whew. Oh, Miss J, you don't know it, girl. It's actually one called the Carolina Reaper. which will apparently kill me on camera. Ooh. That is some spicy, the meat of the ball. I mean, I don't mind. It's all for fun. But I do think Jack's right. I think we need to probably limit how many I have per stream. You're the one that said to limit them.
It's not limited yet.
$50-50 or hot?
Oh, the one of the yeah, the 50-50. Sure. Yeah.
Right, they're the hot ones. You're an arsehole. You are literally an arsehole.
We have met our swearing quota for this stream.
Arsehole is not a swear word. Oh no, it's a bad one. Oh no. Oh no, it's like I'm eating a grass sod.
Oh, grass sod's not bad. I like grass.
No, grass sods are horrible.
You ever have a shot of wheatgrass from like one of those Jamba Juice places? Oh, it's so good.
It is not the same thing. Oh no, that's just nasty.
Yeah, I did that for the entertainment of the chat. I'm probably going to get actually quite a bit of...
Oh, Princess Dregger said you should eat one for being such a nozzle. King Bashman, you know what, King Bashman, fuck off. No, I love you, man. No, you can't just like take a week off on the fucking like channel and then come in and go redeem beans. No, I will save it for the next time.
Unless you want, if you want, I will claim Bashman's bean if you'd like. That sounded wrong, Bashman. I love you, bro, but let's
Jack's
not take
gonna
that the wrong
eat your
way.
bean. Come on, Jack.
Next convention, I'm eating your bean. Wait, no, hang on.
King Bashman, while Jack's getting his ass out here, do you want him to do a heart, or do you want him to do a 50-50? And Jack, you gotta come out here. Okay, he's out here. King Bashman, what's it gonna be, my friend? Did Jack just run away? Did he just run away? Oh, here he is.
I've gotta get myself a top up if I'm gonna have it out.
Mod decision. Alyssa's a bean cooldown. Jack gets the next ones. Everyone's saying hot, Jack.
So everybody's aware, I don't deal with hot very well, so fun times.
I'm gonna give King Bashman 30 seconds. No, 15 seconds. To pick which one he wants. Fate of the dice. Oh, fate of the dice. Go get a die. Alright, what we're gonna do, Jack's gonna roll a die. Odds he does hot, okay? Odds he does hot.
Alright. D20 roll.
Everyone's calling for hot right now.
Oh, good lord.
Everyone's calling for it.
They found out I don't like hot. 10 on the die.
10. That's a 50-50.
Alright.
That's a 50-50. Alright, sorry guys, that was random. Yeah, I've pulled out so many bad ones. Alright, he's eating the bean.
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste? Oh, you lucky bugger.
I like toothpaste.
Yeah, I like toothpaste too.
When I was a kid, I used to squirt toothpaste. When my parents weren't looking, I'd squirt toothpaste.
You took one of my good ones.
I mean, it's supposed to be a bad one.
Yeah, but toothpaste isn't bad.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I heard the die roll. That's as good as we're gonna get. Unless you want me to carry the die out to you.
Oh, do you want me to? We could leave it around here. It could be a.
Look, 10.
Well, okay, you could show them any number.
Princess is like, I want to see the die roll. We'll have to have a die count at some point. Yeah, there's been a lot of beans in this stream. Alright, Pex, we're gonna have to wait, okay? We've been doing a lot of beans in this stream. A lot of beans. And we are actually a little bit over our stream time right now. So I will leave that one from Wargaming Recon in the queue for next time. Maybe next Friday, next Monday when Jack joins us.
Yeah, the toothpaste isn't so bad. I mean, it's not brilliant, but it's
not a bad one now.
Yeah.
All right, let's get Princess Strega VIP. Wargame Recon. Okay, 2 truths online. We're gonna do this, by the way, and then we're probably gonna end the stream. Wargame Recon. He's of African descent. He's descended from a man who fought with Kashmir Pulaski during the American War of Independence. And lastly, it took a cruise to Bermuda and heated it. Green Luton, you've got to tell me the joke. You've got to tell me the joke.
Brian, save it for next week. Save it for next Monday. Write them down. I don't know if it's once per user. I think Wargaming has redeemed at least 2 this stream.
No, but it might be what he's actually resetting it to.
Oh.
No, GL, I do not have a book.
Ooh, 100 gold. Yay.
I could get a book of jokes. In which case, I'm going to leave yours unredeemed, okay? I'm going to keep it in my queue. Alright? We'll get a book of jokes. I'll get to a site of jokes.
Ooh, I could do a joke.
Alright.
No, I'm kidding. No. I was gonna do a silly, like, dark humor joke. It was not gonna be funny. No, we'll save it till you get an actual joke book.
Yeah. Anyone else want to bet in on Wargaming Recon's truth or false?
We've got 3 people weighing in. We've got me, Alyssa, and Strega. Pax or Loontoon or Alex, you in? He says he is of his 3 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie, excuse me. I am of African descent. I'm descended from a man who fought with Casimir Pulaski during the American War of Independence. And lastly, he took a cruise to the Bermuda and hated it. So far, Alex... Oh, sorry, my apologies, Alex. I didn't realize you had weighed in already. You said truth, false. Alyssa said false, truth. I said truth, false, and Princess says false, truth. Miss J says truth, false. Oh my God, they're all over the place. Okay, so what do we got? Reveal. Sorry, Alex. Yeah, my apologies. Ooh, recently he learned that he is in fact of African descent. I had a black ancestor, and it was hidden in the racial prejudices here in the States. Sadly, I understand that that's a thing. And he does indeed have an ancestor who fought with in the War of Independence with Pulaski. So it indeed was that he did not go on a cruise and hated it.
All right, it was a good one.
He has been on a cruise, but it was not to Bermuda. Now, did you hate it? That's the question. All right, you will reveal that next time. Well, hell, at this rate, I might have to be a guest star more than just Mondays. I kind of want to, know stories. I want to continue on some of this.
Maybe we could get you Monday, Wednesdays, or something like that.
There you go.
All right, so I think this will be a good point to end the stream. We've actually been going a little bit longer tonight because we've been having such a good time. We've been working on Castle Keeper's Guide for Trollord Games. It is a series of 12 maps ranging from a thorp, hamlet, village, all the way up to a metropolis. And we've got some fortifications thrown in there for good measure. So we've actually been doing some great pieces here. These are some of my favorite maps that I've ever done. We do have our town done. We have our city done. And while we've been talking tonight, I did our fortified city. And I'm going to leave it like that. This, by the way, is our print scale right there. That works just fine. For a half-page spread, I think that's great. It's going to be coloured. It's going to look beautiful. I think tomorrow, I think we might work on the castle. Now, that's going to mean that I have to go through all of your suggestions for what castle we're going to draw. We're going to do an elevated one, just like we did with the Motte and Bailey. So, if I don't decide what castle we're going to do in time for that, I might come down toward the metropolis, but we literally have 2.5 maps to do. That's it. So really good progress. Alex Vixen, joke. What is yellow and shivers on the seabed? I don't know. What is yellow and shivers on the seabed? We will add the zoo. I think we're going to do the zoo to the metropolis. Right, tell me what is yellow and shivers on the seabed. And in the meantime, I want to do a special thank out to all of our Patreon and Twitch subscribers. This slide is actually a little bit out of date. I got a whole bunch of names that need to be added to this. I'm going to endeavor to do that for tomorrow night, okay? So, everyone, thank you so much. Your support, honestly, it empowers me, it encourages me, and it all goes straight back into the channel. Software, hardware, pet treats, and even feeding pets. These things are important. So thank you, all of you. Very much appreciated. And the punchline, do we have one? So what is yellow and shivers on a seabed? A nervous sea wreck, says Alex Vixen.
And for, because I know Alyssa doesn't normally do this, but I'm going to go ahead and pimp her out a little bit. If you guys aren't following her on all the social media channels, follow her on Twitter at Alyssa Faden Maps. Follow her on YouTube. You can either do a search for Alyssa Faden or it's Kolyana19, just like it sounds, with the number 19. Follow her on Facebook at Alyssa Faden Cartography, or send her a friend request just at Facebook at Alyssa Faden. And on Instagram at Alyssa_Faden. You should follow her on all the social media channels because she posts everywhere and she's hilarious and funny. And I'm not just saying that because I'm her husband. I'm saying that because I love her as a human being and she's awesome.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Pex, if you're still out there, Wargaming Recon coming up with some good commands tonight. Social, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Insta. I like those. Let's add them, Pex. We can do that. Wargaming Recon, thank you. You keep those shortcuts flowing. We'll add them if they make sense. Everyone, this has been a great stream. We've finished another map. It's been another one of those where we're just like surreptitiously, just in a 2-hour period, finish the map, on to the next one. And I agree, we're going to have more of Jack. If Jack is up for it, we're going to have more of Jack in the channel. I think I want to work on the castle tomorrow, okay? I want to work the castle. So, I love you all. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I really mean that. Back tomorrow night, we're going to keep on going. Same map. That little one right up there. Let's all build the castle. I've just got to find the time during the day to look for what castle we want to draw. It's going to be a half-page spread. I think it could be a beautiful one. Let's make it happen. Catch you all tomorrow. Love you. And Jack, thanks for hanging out, babe.
Of course.
See you tomorrow, people. Love you. Except for everyone that voted for a bean. In which case, no. Angry Alyssa. I'll see you tomorrow.